Hello there. I don't know if anyone's still in this chat, but took me a bit to get started because I need to get some stuff done. And I'll probably be on maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, who knows. I know it's pretty late, but I've always been a night owl ever since I worked at Target for a few years where I had to come in. Well, I had to wake up probably 2 a.m. to get to the store at 4 a.m. to unload trucks and boxes. And uh, there you go. How's it going, Bobby? How's it going, Michael? Did not see Winnie the Pooh horror movie trailer. I've heard of it, didn't see it. It just seems like a dumb concept. I mean, Winnie the Pooh horror film. I just think I wouldn't. I want to know the story how that got into public domain. Um, that's what I would like to know. I want to know how Winnie the Pooh got into a public domain fashion. Made with Vince Vaughn. Um, I haven't seen them forever. I like Swingers, but Made I haven't seen in forever, so I don't know for certain. Hey Seb B, how are you doing tonight? Hello there. And then I haven't seen the trailer. I've heard of it. Hi there, Bobby. But yeah, I don't know much about this Winnie the Pooh. Does anyone know how that got in the public domain, Winnie the Pooh, how that all came about? Because that to me is a more interesting story than a Winnie the Pooh horror film, to be honest. Like that's a pretty big property to go into public domain if that's what happened. Otherwise, how else are they doing a Winnie the Pooh horror film? Again, I'd be very curious to know that information, and that would be a very, like I said, interesting topic to find out about. If anyone has information on that, let me know, either in the comments section or what have you. But how are you guys doing? Glad you're doing all right. I wasn't thinking of doing a stream tonight, but I figured why not? It's the end of the month. I want to do one more before the month ended. Oh, okay. For the first time. Gotcha. 95-year mark since it was created. So automatically, after 95 years, it goes into public domain, like no matter what? Or is there, if someone buys it out before then? Or anytime something's 95 years old, it goes to the public domain? Ah, okay. I did not know that. After, if it's 95 years from first publication, Winnie the Pooh's been around for that long, though? Like, Winnie the Pooh's been around for that long? Wow, I did not know that. So, anytime something's 95 years, is public domain. Interesting. So, technically, does that mean, like, all these movies and characters after 95 years could be public domain? Like, I don't know, Evil Dead and all this other stuff could be public domain after 95 years? Hey, DJ Mexicano. Um, Good choices. Definitely good choices there. Um, yeah, either way. Yeah, I knew they were doing it. I just didn't see the trailer. That's looks. Sorry, don't know what that is. Um, I don't remember the director's cut. I sorry, I still got that cough. I still don't know what the difference is between the two. What is the difference between the two cuts? Um, that I would see. Now that I would see. Like, if you made that movie, I would actually see it. Hey, Jedizilla, Strange Invaders. Don't know that movie. Armored God 1 and 2. I prefer Operation Condor, so I think that's the second one. So I prefer that one. Yeah, I agree. Alien Isolation is a good game. I did play it on the channel. Boys in the Hood, don't mind it. I like the film. I liked it. What, you want to see a new Friday the 13th movie? Nothing. I don't want them to make anymore. Don't make any more movies. Do something else. Do something new. I don't know why that's such a impossible notion. Stop milking franchises. That's what I want. Top five underrated. So you're saying underrated. You're not saying favorites. But what constitutes as underrated? Because I would say Operation Condor is underrated, but some would say it's not underrated. Um, I mean, Operation Condor would be up there. Mr. Nice Guy, I enjoy. Who Am I enjoyed. I don't know if that'd be in my top five underrated, but I love Rumble in the Bronx, but I don't think that's underrated. I mean, Operation Condor I would put in there. Mr. Nice Guy I would put in there. Mm. Skip Trace. I really enjoy Skip Trace with him and Johnny Knoxville, so I'll put that in there. So Chloe being pregnant. See, I didn't even remember that. So there you go. Lawn Riders didn't see it. I don't type of film rather. Oh, the new Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Am I getting hate? I didn't even notice. So that shows how little I care. I guess people don't want to look at reality. I didn't even notice I was getting hate, but probably feminists or whatever the hell people were butthurt. Sorry, the truth hurts. It's the truth. And what that documentary said was a lot of truth. I mean, I'm sorry if people are a bit fucked up. So again, if people want to be fucked up, people want to be fucked up. They don't want to listen to what's going on. That would never happen though. So I guess if it did and surprised me, I'd be like, okay, but 10 Things I Hate About You, I don't remember that film. Hey Joe, Ex Machina, was not a fan. Didn't care for it. Um, I would not want them to do that. I think it would be above them. Hey man, no problem. I understand, man. Uh, I prefer when it's Jackie Chan's actual English voice. That's what I prefer. Favorite Tremors character, I like Val and Earl together in the first Tremors. Paperman, didn't see. Probably the same person that called me the same thing in the Prey review. So people who use that word a lot, they should look in the mirror. I'll say that. What I find funny is this person who said it supposedly subscribed. Obviously, they didn't watch the video. So it's a person that they made another account. They just get mad at me about it. Okay. So, where some guy that doesn't make videos at all and it's being absolutely random. And the people that get mad, they have no rebuttals. That's what I find funny. You know how that's crazy? There's so many people that get mad, they have no rebuttals. That's what I find funny. Like Aiden last name, I'll say, man, you say I'm out of touch, but you don't mention one thing that I said that was wrong about that. Because that documentary, when people can't answer what is a woman and they're having a tough time answering that, then yes, I think that is a problem and an issue. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you can't answer what is a woman, then yes, I think there's a big damn problem. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't watch much of Tales from the Dark Side. Hey, Wonder Waz. Hey, Boy Wonder. Well, Joe was letting me know that apparently some people getting butthurt over my review of What is a Woman because I actually liked the documentary and I think it had a lot of good things to say about the world of today. And I guess people are getting mad about that. So they're getting butthurt about it. I mean, I'm sorry that documentary made a lot of good points. How about you give some rebuttals instead of just saying I'm out of touch? Why? Because I don't think a kid should be told anything about this stuff when they're 7 years old, when they still think Santa Claus is real. I mean, hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hey, Infinity Gauntlet. Never played Mario Kart. Hey, True Fire Pink Guy. But yeah, like someone was telling me, apparently I'm getting a lot of crap on my What is a Woman review. I'm sorry, it was a good documentary. It brought up a lot of good points. For people that want to complain, why don't they offer some rebuttals? But they don't because there's nothing to say. It's like when the one guy said, "You can't talk about it because you're not a woman." And the guy asked, "Are you a cat?" No. Can you say what a cat is? Exactly, you can. So, guy had nothing to say and walked away. Nothing wrong with anyone who wants to be bi, gay, straight, trans, whatever. But when you sit there and you tell people I'm a woman, I'm like, no, you're a trans woman. There's nothing wrong with that, but be proud of who you are. And you go, no, I'm this. I'm like, but you're not. That's just biology. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing horrible. And then trans athletes are beating women, and women are getting mad, but they can't say anything. Otherwise, they get fired. But then women, there's no way they can win these uh, physical competitions. I mean, no one wants to offer a rebuttal on that. Well, I reviewed Puppet Master 1 and 2. And I probably don't mind Puppet Master 2 through 5. I could watch as a time waster. I mean, this guy, oh, I was subscribed. He was subscribed a week ago, dude. So you didn't even get much to know about me. Now, some guy goes that Samaritan is better than Cobra. I'm sorry, dude. You have your opinion, but come on, man. Samaritan is better than Cobra. Um, if the guy is there, teach their own, man. But give me 5 reasons why Samaritan's better than Cobra. And that's my computer. Sorry, I was looking through my comments. If you like Samaritan, that's fine. But I'm sorry, no one's going to tell me the Samaritan is better than Cobra. Like, come on, dude. But hey, teach their own. Hey, for Kaiju. So yeah, apparently today a lot of people were just mad at me. And one, he wasn't mad, but he's like, I knew Matt one did Samaritan. I loved it. To me, it's way better than Cobra. Cobra is boring. Cobra has Sylvester Stallone mowing down feet like 50 people on the back of a pickup truck with a machine gun. That has him cutting pizzas up with scissors. That's got Brian Thompson, who's a much more intimidating villain than whoever the hell this wannabe Michael Shannon was, in my opinion. Cobra has lines like, "You're a disease, and I'm the cure," or "This is where the law stops, and I suck." And I suck. Yeah, that'd be my version of it. "This is where our law stops, and I suck. Dick." No. "This is where the law stops, and I start, sucker." What lines are good in Samaritan? Name one good line. Please be my guest. Name me some good lines in Samaritan. And it doesn't have an annoying kid sidekick and a lot of CGI. Yeah, and it's rated R, while this is PG-13, looks edited for TV. I mean, the guy has every right to feel it, but I'm like, I don't get that. To each their own. I don't get that at all. But I mean, yeah, some people are mad about my review of What is a Woman, but whatever. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a good documentary. It's well done, in my opinion. Like, what? But hey, what do I know, right? Would that be saying much? I mean, forgettable to really lame. I mean, that's not much of a comparison. I haven't seen Quicksilver from '86. A favorite Elvis Presley song? Probably Viva Las Vegas. Again, the guy that wants to say I'm out of touch, explain why. What about that was out of touch? What about that documentary or even that review was out of touch? Like, explain to me. You have a pediatrician that literally goes, babies know what their gender is when they're 2 months old. How do babies know what their gender is when they don't even know how to talk? They don't even know how to talk. I mean, how does a 4-year old get the chance to choose, I want to be a boy or a girl, when they still believe Santa Claus is real and the Easter Bunny is real? You're giving the power to a child who knows that, in his mind or her mind thinks the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus are real, but the parent is giving them the power to choose their gender when they're 4, 5, 7 years old. Explain that to me, please. I mean, please be my guest. So if people hate me for it, people hate me for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. And that's what I've always done. And that's what people get pissed at me about. And that's what they always get pissed at me about. That's why I'm not ever going to be the popular guy. I'm never going to be the other guy. Ridiculous. Isn't past my bedtime? I don't know. Is it past your bedtime? Yeah, you can get a tattoo when you're 18, but a kid can be 16 years old and get surgery. And that's something they mentioned in that documentary. I'm like, fine, if you don't like my review, just watch the documentary and let's have a conversation. There are people that can get surgery when they're 16, but how many people have gotten a tattoo when they were 16 and they snuck away and they somehow fought someone to do it. And then they regret it 10 minutes later or 10 weeks later or 10 days later. I'm not a popular guy. Yeah, I'm a popular guy. That's why, at best, that's why, the videos don't do much. Yeah, I'm so popular. No, I'm not popular, not in one single bit. Hey, Preminator. I reviewed the first episode of She-Hulk. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, I'm not popular. Not far from it. But yeah, I figured that review would get a lot of people pissed off because I said it's a must-see documentary and I really enjoyed it. And there's people that they feel the opposite way and they probably haven't seen the documentary. So I'm like, you don't know what the whole thing is. I mean, I'm sorry. I looked at this documentary, What is a Woman? And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with someone who's trans. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But then don't force me to go, you're a woman when you're not a woman. You're a trans woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why is that such a bad thing to say and call someone? Be proud of it. I'm a white male. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a black male, if you're an Asian male or an Asian female, nothing wrong with that. If you're an Asian trans, just say, yeah, I'm an Asian trans. So what of it? What are you going to do about it? That's it. So what the hell is the big deal? You can't talk about it. Are you a cat? No. Well, can you tell me what a cat is? Can you talk about a cat? Yeah. Strange Wilderness sucked at Damme production. And I'm sorry that, again, a lot of these folks want to talk to kids about this stuff when they're 8, 7 years old and they believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy are real. They believe Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy are real, but yet you expect them to know this issue that people 25 years old are confused about. If people 25 years old are confused about this subject, how the hell is a kid 8 years old going to understand? When part of a kid is to play pretend, part of a kid is to play fantasy, part of pretend is to play war. Play war and you got fake guns. But they're supposed to understand this. I appreciate that, Stephen T. Thank you. I found someone. I talked to someone. They helped me get a link to watch the film. So I don't know where you could find it, but I was able to find it somewhere. And yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed the doc. I thought it was well made. It made a lot of good points. And it's one of those things that. Sorry, now I'm on this roll on this. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I can't sit here and say I know what that is to go through. And not in the slightest. But I found it interesting that there was a surgeon, right, who is a trans woman, although she got mad and said, no, I'm a woman. I'm like, okay. And Matt Walsh, however you feel about him, I still think he did a good job with this. He said this. This is what he said. Well, what if a person came in and they want a self-identity and they want to take their arm off? And the surgeon literally looked at the guy and said, well, then that person's kooky. That person's weird to want to take bits off. I'm sitting there going, but you have a surgery where you take the bits of the penis off. But the arm is weird. I'm like, isn't that the same thing? Kind of. Because it's all about self-identity, and one person's self-identity is different from another self-identity. Okay. Yeah, what if I said I want to be a ninja fucking turtle back in the day? I could say it, but if I'm forcing people to call me that, that's where it's a bit sketchy. What if okay, let's say a guy in a fursuit, on YouTube there's people in these fursuits and they dress like a wolf or something. What if they went into a store, no, their workplace wearing it and they said, "You have to answer me when I bark and you have to call me wolf or whether for someone, you have to call me that." I'm like, um or I can call you your real name. No, it's about how I feel. Um there are people that do. Actually, there are people that do. Well, I mean, I don't agree with that, but there are people that want to lose anything. I mean, there are people that put their dick tied in a bolt through it. It's hard. It makes me squirm saying it out loud. I identify as a meat popsicle. How about that? That's my pronouns, meat popsicle. It's the seriousness that goes into this that you go, come on, dude. Like, if we can't take the piss out of everything, you know how many people take the piss out of me on a daily basis? If I got mad on every single thing, I would literally be running around naked with jello over myself, singing Kumbaya, listening to Steven Seagal albums, the blues album. Yeah, that's what the guy was mentioning. Matt Walsh was mentioning. If with the popular agenda, yeah, I mean, yeah. And the General Earth, he said nobody wants to lose an arm. Yeah, that right there, that is a real thing. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with anyone that wants to be trans, but I think you should wait until you're at least 18, 19 years old. And there's people that go, well, I chose when I was 7. Well, then something wrong happened. And I'm not trying to knock you, but then that wasn't the right way to go because we don't know anything when we're 7 years old. I'm not trying to be rude. I didn't know crap when I was 7 years old. I don't remember a damn thing when I was 7 years old. No one knows anything when they're 7 years old. Sorry, we don't know crap when we're 7 or 8 years old. We don't. And then he showed he got a book. Matt Walsh got this book that's supposed to be for 10 and up, 10 years old and up. And there's a picture of a couple having sex in it. I'm like, yeah, there are kids that will find stuff on their own and they create their own and they find out on their own. And, parents can only do so much. Welcome to life. But goddamn, I mean, to literally say, yes, you're 13 years old. I agree. You want a surgery? I will get a surgery that will mess up your hormones. That is irresponsible. And no one wants to say that because then you're labeled an ist or an incel or a phobe because they look at the way I look, they look at my beard, they look at my backward cap, which I wear because I like Rambo. Like, goddamn. Yeah, exactly. But no one wants to say that because it's your I feel sorry for the person. I forget their name. Damn it. I knew their name. The person that had there was a person that had 7 surgeries. It was a she who transitioned to a he, and that was heartbreaking. That's a person who was trans, who was a woman who then went to be a male, 7 surgeries, a heart attack, and just that story was absolutely heartbreaking. And that's a story that like no one knows about, never got on there. You're not seeing it on Dr. Phil, you're not seeing it on the news, because it doesn't fit the agenda. And that's why I get heated. That's why I get pissed off when people like that are put under the bus and called transphobic, even though they are trans, but they're called transphobic. They're just speaking the mind of, yeah, I had 7 surgeries and I got a heart attack and I was airlifting a chopper and I this and this and this happened. And then people want to say, nah, 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 you're just an incel. You're off the mark. How am I off the fucking mark? Look at that person's story and how is that bullshit? Sorry, that's why I did heated. That's why I get heated. It's not because I don't care. I don't know any trans in real life. I have no issues with it. None. I would gladly shake their hand, have a drink of Mellow Yellow. Let's talk about movies. We probably argue about, I don't know, whatever new movie come out because I go against the grain a lot of movies. But it's this other stuff that I'm talking about. Lupron, chemical, this chemical that you're giving to kids that are used for sex offenders. And P to the E to the D to the O's. Lupron, this chemical agent. And no one wants to say that because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative. That's awful to say. I don't get that. I mean, I'm sorry. They're just absolutely ridiculous about it. Luis, I'm doing okay. Sorry, I passed by all the messages. I apologize. I was just going on a rant. Well, let's be honest though. There are people that do whatever for, they call it a fad. And there are people that will do something because their friends do it. And it doesn't matter how off the mark it is and whatever values you say. There's a lot of sheep that will do anything just because that seems like the thing to do. I mean, let's be honest, that happens with everything. That's happened for the longest time. The longest of times. Yeah, my pronouns are fuck and you. That's my pronouns. Fuck and you. How about those be my pronouns? F you. But maybe that's what I'll say when someone asks for my pronouns is fucking you. Okay? Or fucking you. Or whatever, whatever it may be. Fucking you. Or you and fuck. You can switch them around if you want. Fucking you or fuck. Sorry, I don't know who OGB is. Yeah, those are my pronouns from now on. Fuck and you. Or you and fuck. Love Fabio's videos. Does a great job. Greatest beer run. Didn't see the trailer. Uh, Pronouns are general and Ursus. Sure, why not? I mean, it works for everybody else. Well, apparently science is not real. And if you think it's real, then you're just an idiot, apparently. But again, it's just one of those things that when I watch that documentary, I'm going, I feel sorry for people that are going through hard times. We all go through hard times. We all go through terrible, absolutely terrible thoughts. It happens to everybody. 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 And if you're growing up and you're 18, 19 years old and you have a bit more thought process on your life and you feel like you want to transition and you're paying for it, and you have to be careful because that surgery could mess you up, or the hormone blockers. I don't know, how do you people know how those truly work? hormone blockers, puberty blockers. How do you know how that truly works when it's such a new thing? And 10 years later, you could get cancer and not know it because it's such a new thing. But they say it's okay so they can get the money. And let's face it, a lot of times it's money and power for a lot of people. It's always been a lot of money and power. Money and power has always been the key to everything. I don't care if it's race, gender, politics. It's Starface said it best. I mean, I said all this in my review, but for those who didn't watch it or who want to watch it later, first it's the money, then it's the power. It's always that. It always comes back to that. It will always come back to that. And you can say I'm transphobic and all ist and incel and all that, but let's have a conversation. Let's have rebuttals. If you don't have a conversation, then you don't really have anything to say. Because as someone says, it's tough to argue with a smart person. It's almost impossible to argue with a stupid person. I mean, hate to be the bearer of bad fucking news. And again, people don't like me because I fucking say shit like that. I'm just being fucking honest. And then they put words in my mouth. I'm like, I got words in my mouth. I got plenty of words in my mouth that I spit out. I'm pretty blunt. If I like you, I'll say I like you. If I don't, I'll say you don't. I'll say eat my ass or eat shit or fuck off or hey, dickwad, or I will just be blunt on saying that. You know what? I don't like you. Kiss my ass. You don't have to put words in my mouth. I got enough words in my mouth that come out of my mouth. Why do you think the videos are so damn long? Because there's so many words coming out of my mouth, usually in a repeating style. I got plenty of words coming out of my mouth. Okay? But no, we don't want to have a conversation. Fucking hell, man. I'm very sorry that happened to you. That wasn't right. I wish someone could have been there to help. I'm very sorry you went through that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry you went through that. I don't get you to talk about because I'm not a psychiatrist, and I think that could be dangerous to try to make people open up. All I can say is, Wonder was, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm very sorry, and you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that, and that was total bullshit. Hey, Gray B, thanks for the request on the Kanye West video. Thank you for the kind words, Luis. Yeah, it's always been that way. Whoever has the power makes the rules. Exactly. There's no point of a discussion. But then you're like, well, wait a minute. No, there is a point of discussion if you actually want to have the discussion. I don't care about Batgirl. I was never going to watch it anyway. Yellowstone, I didn't see. Sequel to Shazam, I don't really care about. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You may think I'm wrong, but I'm going to be honest. You may think I'm wrong on all, but I'm not going to lie. Lassen, yeah, you're right about that. Okay, happy future birthday, Luis. Well, no, because it's about how you feel. It's about how you feel. But that's not true. It doesn't matter. It's how you feel. I mean, and again, even that documentary, What is a Woman? You see how when you try to invoke a serious conversation, people just want to shut it down. When Matt Walsh is asking about, well, what about these puberty blockers? Here's some chemical, Lupron, that is used for sex offenders. You put them in the kids. And then she's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to talk about it? That's a sincere question. If that's a chemical that is sterilization or type of castration and was outlawed for a while, then don't you think that's a serious damn question? When you have a professor, and I know someone said, well, that professor, maybe he was edited. He could not answer what is a woman, but he is teaching a class about gender, but he can't answer what a woman is. He says a woman is one who identifies as a woman. But what is a woman? I just said it. But you just said a woman's a woman. That's not an answer. How is that such a hard answer? A human, adult, female, probably with ovaries. There's nothing wrong with that, too. Nothing wrong with a trans person. There's nothing wrong with a gay or a bi person. Maybe I'm just too simple minded for this, and I see things more black and white than other fucking people do. I see there's good people, there's evil people, and all I care about that I don't like are assholes. Maybe that's what my problem is. I just don't like assholes. And guess what? Assholes come in every creed, color, country, sex, and gender. And I only don't like, you don't like me seeing assholes, then dickheads, fuckheads, fuckwits. To definitely tell is not going to. Anyway, thank you, Stephen T, for the $5 super chat. I saw one episode or two of Better Call Saul. It didn't do much for me, so I'm not really interested. So I watched the first 2 episodes. It didn't grab me. I would say I preferred Breaking Bad. But I mean, God forbid that you have an honest opinion and people get mad about it. And it's like, again, some guy, I guess he was subscribed to me for a week going, you watched the whole video, but you didn't make a single point. Really? Then you weren't listening. Then you weren't listening to a single word I was saying. And I guarantee you didn't watch the whole video because I just uploaded the whole damn video not that fucking long ago, dude. You know, it's something when people, it's like a 40-minute video and 2 minutes later they put their comment in. I'm like, wow, you watched a 40-minute video in 2 minutes. Wow, you must be a speed. What's the viewing of a speed reader? Speed viewer? Man, you watched that 40-minute video in 7 minutes? Holy shit. Wow. I'm shocked. Yeah, I mean, everything is fucked up. But again, when you say that, people get mad about it. I'm bi, but filmmakers reading each other. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with being bi, nothing wrong with anything. I'll hang out with anyone who wants to hang out with me. I didn't see people were asking me about this Winnie the Pooh horror film. I didn't see it. I didn't see the trailer. That's cool. Congrats on the birthday gift. Flash Gordon needs a remake? No. I mean, here's the thing though. What's next? Are humans okay? They're gonna get surgery to look like animals, and you have to identify them as animals. And you go, well, you're not an animal. And you know what? If you want to do that and do in your own point of view, fine. But that doesn't mean you are a wolf or a bear. And that's not a bad thing to say. Is that a terrible thing to say? Sorry, it's not a terrible thing to say. I don't know what the hell the big deal is. Seriously. And, you know, no one wants to, like, goddamn. I like this. What's an adult? Someone who identifies as an adult. I like that. That could very well be. Could very well be. And you see a lot of these people on TikTok, they do this, and it's like, why is it that a lot of people on TikTok, there are people that's like, I'm teaching these 5-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids about gay and straight and bi. I'm sitting there going, why aren't you teaching them ABCs and 1, 2, 3s? Which is more important? Let me ask you guys. ABC's 1, 2, 3s, or to teach 10, 12-year-olds, or the days in the straits, and what one is. Won't people figure that out later in their life when they're 15, 16, 17, 18, and they're thinking about it and they watch videos because they see through on, nowadays, the internet, and they figure out yourself. When the ABC's 1, 2, 3s, isn't that more important for teachers to teach? That's another thing that got me mad about that stuff. That's not true because I've seen actual proof. I've seen actual proof where they literally go on TikTok and they're a teacher and they literally say that. They literally say that. So either they're lying or they playing up for the camera. Which is it? If they're playing up for the camera, I don't know why. And other teachers are saying I'm supposed to call this kid this when they're not. I'm sorry, that's what's happening. I mean, you can disagree, but I've seen it. There's consistent proof of it. People caught on videos doing that. I mean, disagree all you want. You can call me whatever name you want, but I've seen it. Even that documentary, they showed people doing it. It wasn't altered. There's no CGI involved. And even if you don't want to take that documentary into collusion, there's plenty of videos that have showcased that. And I think a kid should be able to have to find that out on their own terms. And if they want to wear that, that's fine. But then it's not a teacher's responsibility to have that conversation with the kid. It's a parent's. It's not a teacher's responsibility. And I've seen videos with my eyes of teachers going, no, it is our responsibility. It's not just the parents. What? And the person that says that's never happened, I've seen the videos where the teacher admits it and they're proud of it. And I'm like, you can be trans. There's nothing wrong with that. There's, I'm being sincere. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like me being a teacher and teaching kids about, hey, you want to know how you make a woman orgasm with a finger? That'd be fucked up, wouldn't it? And maybe I'm just being blunt, but okay, let's say I'm a teacher and I'm like, hey, um, you guys ever get excited? And when a man and woman fall in love, that's not my fucking job. I feel like Major Payne. Remember when Major Payne talked to the kid? He's telling the story about blood and ass is falling everywhere. I can't feel my legs. They ain't fucking there. And they're fucking going off like this. And that's a comedy about Major Payne telling this graphic story to this little kid who's too young for that. Remember Major Payne? And we laugh because that's ridiculous. Now change the violence to sex, and that is normalized. I don't understand that. I don't agree with it. I don't think whether you're straight, gay, bi, trans, you should be teaching kids of any nature except math, science, geography, history, and all that jazz. Teach them science, teach them math, teach them gender. Why? Why is that the case, though? And why with kids? That's not kids to do. Their job is to learn to read, to write, and everything in between. They don't know anything about that. Those are kids that are still thinking Santa Claus is real and the tooth fairy is real. But they're supposed to know about politics, which we are confused by. If we're confused by that, can you imagine a little kid being confused by it? And kids are more into imagination. So what does that have to do with anything? And why does it have to go back to politics again? Why does everything have to go back in politics? But it's the world today, and it's not all should not all be about just politics. That's just my opinion on it. You may think I'm wrong, but oh well. Maybe I mean I don't know because I'm not in school today. But I mean, it's not like that's a new thing that's been happening forever in the school system, going back to the 80s. I mean, to say that's just a new thing now, I mean, that's always happened. They made a movie, That's My Boy, which is a comedy where Adam Sandler played a little kid who had sex with a teacher and got the teacher pregnant. And that was a comedy called That's My Boy. And what year was that? 2012 or something? They did teacher about that for comedy. Yeah, that's up to the parents. And also, as a parent, you have to also understand that your kid is not going to understand anything about it when they're 10, 12 years old. How many times have people gotten a tattoo and oh my God, 2 days later, 2 weeks later, they regret on a tattoo? And that's a tattoo, not a life changing surgery. In my eyes, for any of that, you should wait till you're 18 to 20 years old. That sounds like a sequel to a Michael Bay Transformers movie. I have no idea. They're not going to tell you. And yeah, that was another thing. The whole thing about Kenzie. I didn't know that about Kenzie. I know there's a Liam Neeson film about Kenzie, who's a scientific genius. I didn't know he wrote a book. And I looked up info about the book. The book exists. And the guy did sexual studies where this kid had, he's 5 months old and had three orgasms. What the fuck? But just like Roman Polanski, people applaud. And that makes me sick. It makes me want to puke. But yet, people on in comments wants to say I didn't make a valid point. You may think I'm wrong, disagree, but whatever. Maybe a lot are not, but the fact some are. But and that goes with everything. It's not 100%. Not everything's 100%. I saw a couple reviews after. There are people in the trans community that were upset by the way some of these people in the documentary talked about how, what? Like, no, that's not how we think. But sadly, with every single bit, there's extremists, and that's the seem to get the power of the extremists. And every political, every social, it's the extremists that get the power, the money, and all this. And they're the ones making these videos, and they're having books. They showed a book that's for 10 and up, and in it there's a couple having sex. And it's just like, I don't understand that. I know I don't think, yeah, I agree, not everyone no. But some are, because sadly there's some in every group. Straight, gay, bi, trans, furries. And every one of those groups, there are some who are just fuck up for the rest of you, rest of me, rest of everybody. There are white people that fuck up for all white people. There are black people that fuck up for all black people. There are transgender that fuck up for all transgender people. There's always a section that makes the rest look bad. And that happens with every group. You go through history, every group, there's always a smaller section that screws up for everybody. Remember when you were in school and the teacher is mad at two people and the whole class gets punished? Did anyone go through that in school? Like three people are messing it up and talking and doing this, and the whole class has to stay. You either have to stay 10 more minutes before you go to lunch, or you have to stay 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes after school. That's on a bigger pedestal. Yeah, and not every teacher and not every trans teacher, not every person does this, but there are people that do it and they screw it up for the rest. And then those people, they're louder. Look what I did. Look how important I am. I'm sitting there going, what? I've talked to people, I mean, that goes with every group. You can name any group. And I feel bad for anyone who goes through that, the psychological stuff. And I can't sit here and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, because I'm not, what am I going to say? How am I going to know? What am I going to know jack squat about it? Now, if they're documenting the effects of it, I don't know if that's helping. I mean, if you're watching and it's your friend, you don't have to say anything because it's not my business. Is documenting helping them or hurting them? If it's not making them happy, then what needs to be done to make them happy? Because if that's not making them happy, and apparently there's a good chunk who become trans and they're still not happy, does that mean there's something else that you need to do that needs to be done? What needs to be done then? And I don't have the answer. But sadly, there are some that do it for power move. And I'm not saying all do it, but there are some that do it for a power move. And sadly, that happens with anyone, any group that gets power, there's going to be a section that abuse it. And I don't care what group you say, white people, black people, furry people, whatever, hell, Star Wars fans. There's Star Wars fans. There's going to be a section that abuse it. Star Trek fans, section that abuse it. And that's just talking about movies and stuff, not important stuff. But we've all seen it. We've all witnessed it. We've all viewed it. We've all we see it there time and time and time again. Yeah, and I feel bad for that. That's part of the reason I get mad is that some of them are not able to tell their stories because they will be called transphobic. Like the person in the documentary who went through 7 surgeries and said that she might not live that long. And they're called transphobic and got death threats. Suppose a young age and only regret because it's helping to their prune what they making the decision. I mean, I it's not my right to ask what age they were when they made that decision. But that's what I mean is you have to be careful on what you choose because we don't know who we want to be when we're 10, 12, 13 years old. Some of us don't know when we're 40 years old. If you don't know if you're 40 or you're 30, how you don't know when you're 12 or you're 10? And in a way, you have to, what was the line? If you're a parent, you love your kids and you help them around the curves. Meaning you help guide them how you can. But like that story about the person in Canada that in Canada, you can have a hospital force a hospital can put gender changing chemicals in your child and you have no say in it. You to put these hormones into your child and you can't say anything about it. And if you misgender someone, including your kid, that's supposedly equivalent of a hate crime. And the person got $30,000 fine, the father. The father's like, no, I don't want my kid on this hormone. That's not what I wanted. That's what are you doing? But the kid wanted it, I guess. And because the guy called he'd have fined $30,000, and this is because in Canada, apparently, it's different than here. Well, there you go. I mean, Sally, that's happened a lot, and some of them get away with it. And that gym teacher did, I don't know, a shotgun to his privates, to be perfectly honest. I mean, and it is what it is. But this is what I'm talking about. Why can't we have these conversations, debates, and then instead people just go shut down? Safe space is not in the vicinity. Sorry, I'm not in my safe space. We're having a conversation. The space is safe. No one's pulling out a Glock 10. Really? So a family member said that's a girl, not a boy. Kept telling this kid at 10, and at 18 they had a full operation. They was led to believe that's what they wanted. Led to believe by a parent and a 10-year-old who doesn't know much about how he still believed in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy. See, this is what I'm talking about. This right here that some people said is a complete fallacy and a complete rumor and a complete fucking fantasy land. This is exactly what I was fucking talking about for the 40, 50 minutes of that fucking review. But people can't see the forest for the trees. Instead, they gotta have the easy answer. You're an incel. Is what the hell I'm talking about. That's what makes me mad. That's what makes me upset. And now this person is going through horrible psychological problems, but we're not supposed to say anything because it hurts other people's feelings who don't care about a conversation of the situation. Is that what I'm led to believe? But if you say this, I understand that there's some, your boss could fire you and all that stuff. I understand that. As much as this sucks, why blame the bosses then for not having the pair of balls to go, oh, you know what, that person's a good worker, and I think this is horseshit, and they're going to keep working. But they're not allowed to do that, or all this other stuff. Exactly, and that's ridiculous. That's true, but sadly, they're the ones that. Then there needs to be a dialogue or other people speaking out about the militant. But is anyone speaking out about that? That I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, yeah, but that does happen. I'm not saying it happens on every block of every city. But when you see and hear enough stories, you go, this is not a once in a million or 1 in 50,000 thing. When there's smoke, there's fire, something's burning, but no one wants to put it out because we don't want to hurt the fire's feelings. Fire don't give a fuck about your feelings. The fire just wants to burn. I sound like Donald Sutherland in Backdraft. It just wants to burn. What's next? Do I identify? I should ID myself as a Bigfoot. Yeah, was that John Money? I think you're talking about John Money. That was in the documentary, and that was I felt sad for that guy because the brother died, and then he did that when he was I thought he was 38, but maybe he was 37. Yeah, but that gets put under the rug. There aren't a lot of. I mean, if no one wants to say anything, I can't tell people what to do. On my channel, that's not my job is to tell people what to do. I'm just giving my honest opinion. When someone sends a paid request, and I just give my honest opinion, and then people can, well, a lot of times people just hate me for it. So whatever. People just want to hate me for it or whatever. It's not the first or last time it's happened. But there's also a lot that get kind of pushed by family members to you're this. And there's family members that push people into thinking, oh, yes, I'm this. And they don't come to it. I don't know if the word is naturally or whatever it may be. And then problems occur later and they go, like, they don't know what's wrong, but it's like they know, or they think, well, if that's not making you happy, then you have to find something else to make you happy. And maybe you thought this would make you happy because other people told you that's supposed to make you happy. It's like anything else. Hell, a job. You should do this job. This will make you happy. But then you're not happy at the job. Then it's like, okay, well, you're still working this, but you're not happy at the job. But that's different because a job is necessity. So, but I reviewed Death Warrant on the channel. I reviewed all of Van Damme's films. Yes, I saw the deleted scene. Don't like Terrifier. If I ever turn on them? Wait, they turned on them? Why did they turn on them? They're having health problems and mental issues, but the family turned on them. What? Because the person said, I'm not happy, and you're pushing something on me since I was 10 years old? But they're the bad guy. Because no one wants to admit when it's their fault. That's another thing. No one wants to admit when it's their fault. The person that says, I'm sorry, it's my fault, is the person you looked to and go, that person's different. I mean, I've always been a fan of Van Damme. I mean, this is my favorite. Not right. I didn't think he was sexy. I mean, if people do, that's cool. But I liked his action scenes, and I actually didn't mind him as an actor. But I mean, sorry about the comments. That's Chris Duckman. The video that it was a paid request for me to react to it, and yeah, Jehovah's Witness. Maybe not every Jehovah's Witness are into that, but there's a lot of people in it that make it worse for the rest, and they create this narrative, and it hurts people, makes them unsure, and think they're making it a better place, but they really depress the hell out of these people, like everything else. And it's one of those things that just I just don't understand what some people come to. Like, even if you're okay, there's some people in here who are a trans person. When you watch that documentary, What is a Woman? And you see a surgeon literally go No one really regrets doing this. I mean, if so, it's a very, very minority. But no one really regrets doing a surgery. No one regrets doing that. This is a person who is a trans and they're a surgeon. I'm sitting there going, but there's literal upon literal upon literal variety of proof that that's not the case. And when you have a segment of that that is doing stuff like what Tabitha described, and then no one wants to say anything because we want to help people's feelings, then yeah, that is a problem. That is a problem. That is an issue. Oh, hey, man. Yeah, sorry that you came in a serious discussion because I reviewed that "What Is a Woman" documentary, and some people got mad about it. So it's trust me, the streams are not usually like this. It's more laid back, but it's a pretty serious topic. So I just kind of I get passionate about discussions and debates. So, but thanks for stopping by. But yeah, sorry about the to everyone out there, but I'm guessing people want me to start to stop talking about this. So exactly, but there are people that do that, and no one's saying anything about it, and that's really my issue about it. Or the person who is trans and said they're not going to live long, and talking about how these chemicals are being used on children that were used on criminal sex offenders like Lupron. And this pediatrician who is a parent also says, yeah, we're doing that, but I don't want to talk about it. We could change the subject. I'm sitting there going, but you're using these chemicals that are literal sterilization. And what the hell is an actual puberty blocker? How can you actually stop puberty for a bit and then pick it up later? Because I don't think that's physically and physiology possible. You can't truly stop puberty like that, or it will absolutely screw up your body. And no one wants to say that because they'll offend people. And I don't it's not about offending people. It's about helping people who need help. And you have to look at the serious situation or the sincere, concrete information. What's next? A doctor saying, oh, I'm sorry, you don't feel this is a diagnosis, and I don't want to upset your feelings. So you feel like you should be subscribed this? Okay, here you go. I don't want to get canceled. Are doctors supposed to say that? Oh, I'm sorry. Even though I'm the doctor and I'm supposed to tell you what's wrong, you feel that's not the case. So here you go. Sorry. I, what's next? Yeah, I know. It won't change the world at the end of the day, but it's just one of those things I'm just maybe just getting off my chest. But and I guarantee you, people will watch that review and they want to put words in my mouth like they do all the time. And I'm like, again, my videos are so long because I have a lot of words that come out of my mouth regardless. And I'm very blunt. Whether you think I'm right or wrong, I'm blunt and honest. People get mad about that. I like trying to discuss as much as possible. That's why the videos are so long. I don't want to just do a 5 minute, this movie's good, movie's bad, goodbye. But especially if it's a paid request. But yeah, there's a lot of parents that did not need to be parents. There's a lot of stupid people who are parents. Like, let's be honest. There's a lot of people that should never have been parents in the fucking first place. It's like, you know what? You should have pulled out and put it in the mouth because you did not deserve to be a mother or a father because you're too stupid. You're too stupid to have a kid. Too fucking dumb. I think that was one of the reasons the doctor didn't he get in trouble for something. Like I forget the doctor, I forget the details. But anyway, Roll Call remake was horrible. I'll say that. So let's people can talk whatever they want in the chat. I'll say that. You can talk whatever you want in the chat. It don't matter to me. So sorry, I passed like a lot of comments and a lot of questions. I apologize. So everything got lost in the shuffle. When I get on these tangents and I'm looking on this small phone in the chat, a lot of things got completely bypassed. So I apologize. And I've said before, I don't care if someone is on my channel and if you're a furry, if you're a My Little Pony fan brony, whatever the hell it's called, if you're trans, bi, straight, gay, you're into, I don't know, fucking boxes or whatever, I don't care. Welcome. Please feel free to comment and watch. I just don't want an asshole. That's the only one I'm against. I'm against assholes. And assholes could be anywhere because they're invisible. Well, dickhead, fuckheads. Okay, fuckheads are everywhere. They could be anywhere because fuckheads are invisible. Yeah, exactly. Well, if they're doing a bad job, like if that family member told that 10-year-old, you're not a boy, you're actually a girl, then yes, I would tell them how to raise their kids because you're hurting your kids. And you should not stand by and be silent. It might not do anything, but, you know, at least that's just me. Like, just common sense. Just use common sense on every situation. Just use common sense. If you saw a parent smacking their kid in a store, you would go up and go, "What the hell are you doing?" That's what I mean by common sense. If you saw a parent slapping their kid like this in a store, you would go up and fucking say something. Or at least call someone. At least. So sorry about that. Did I like the Mato Jai White Delete fight scene? It was all right. I didn't mind it. I don't. People keep asking me about this Winnie the Pooh horror film. I don't. I never saw the trailer. Don't know anything about it. Days of Future Past. I've only seen bits and pieces, and I wasn't really interested in finishing it. Um, yes, I have actually forgotten about it. I don't even know what year that came out. I reviewed that film. I liked the sequel. The first one's the best, though. Top 5 worst remakes. That could take all day to think about. Uh, Hitcher remake, Jacob's Ladder remake, April Fool's Day remake, um, Fog remake probably, and Nightmare on Elm Street remake. 5 best remakes: John Carpenter's The Thing, the 1988 The Blob, the Hills of Eyes remake, The Fly, and Three Men and the Baby is a remake of a French film, so I'll go Three Men and the Baby with Tom Selleck. That's up to the guys at Dip Pit when they invite me on. I mean, I'm not going to force myself. You better invite me on here, goddammit. That's up to them. If they invite me on, I would gladly do, but that's up to them. Yeah, I mean, that is strange. Alcohol alters your body, but you can't have it until you're 21. But this alters your body. You can have it when you're 15 years old. I don't understand it either. I like the Universal Soldier: The Return. That's more. It's directed by a stuntman, so it's more of a 80-minute action stunt show. Like imagine Van Damme in a PM Entertainment film. It's a lower budget film, but it's Van Damme shooting, fighting, having fun, smiling, not being a robot, not being morose. I think the fight with Michael Jai White is fun. It's cheaper, is a cheaper budget, but it's just 80-minute fun popcorn action movie. If you like Van Damme punching, fighting, there's more martial arts than the first film. And like I say, it's like a kind of like a PM Entertainment movie. So I like the sequel for that. Paul Newman, good actor. Um, if it's a paid request, I'll do it. From what I understand, someone told me that Winnie the Pooh has been around for 95 years, and when after 95 years it becomes public domain, and so someone got it and can do a horror film. So there you go. I didn't know, but yeah, it says that this 95 years from first publication, anything becomes public domain. Bats, yeah, I like Bats as a creature feature, but I like Lou Diamond Phillips. I appreciate that. Like, I'm not trying to put that guy on blast earlier. Like the one guy on my Samaritan review who said, "Sorry, dude, I loved it. I think it's way better than Cobra." I disagree. I don't think Samaritan is better than Cobra. I think Cobra kicks the ever loving fuck out of Samaritan. But that's just my opinion. But I think because how passionate I get, people take that with offense. And I'm like, I'm not meaning offense. I'm just saying something a bit too passionately. But if you listen, if you like Samaritan, all that's fine. But I don't think he's better than Cobra. I'll put it that way. I don't think he's better than Cobra. Um, Video Club. I'm trying to think what movies you have. Army of Darkness, cool. The Shining, cool. Great choices. I don't decorate for Halloween. I'm in the middle of nowhere, so there are no trick or treaters. So it's literally the middle of nowhere, literally. Um, it's literally like 35 minutes to the nearest town, and that's why I have to use satellite internet, which is terrible. Which is why I have to use the phone for the stream. So, but it is what it is. It's still living. I can't complain that much. It's still living. Shut up, computer. I say, shut up, computer. See, my computer's over there. But I do not do that. I don't really do much for many holidays, to be honest, as I've grown older. Uh, Someone asked, I like Standard Cup and Standard Cup 2. I know Vinegar Syndrome released those. I have to pick those up one day. I'm not picking up the Child's Play Stream Factory because they have a lot of grease in them for some reason. Well, they called it outgassing, whatever the hell that means. But I still want to pick up Standard Cup 1 and 2, but those are my favorite Standard films. The worst horror movie remake you've seen is probably the Hitcher remake or Jacob's Ladder remake. Hmm. I disagree because I like the Hills of Ice remake more than the original. And same with Last House on the Left. I like the Last House on the Left remake more than the original because I think the original House on the Left has a bad tonal shift between very silly comedy with the cops and then trying to be very horrific. I think Last House on the Left remake is a better tone, consistent tone. And the Hills of Ice remake, I like more because it becomes like a bloody spaghetti western in the third act, which I really like. It's like a hyperbolic revenge movie. Plus, when I had hair, the guy kind of looked like me, Doug from Hills of Eyes. Haven't seen Footloose in a long time, so I'd have to rewatch it to give a fair opinion. PM Entertainment movie, my favorite. By the way, I love the Jaws NES. think I mentioned that before, but or maybe it was Fabio that mentioned before. I think you were on Fabio's. I think I didn't mind Jaws for NES, but Land of the Free I really enjoy. Riot I really enjoy. You know what? I really like Zero Tolerance with Robert Patrick. That might be up there. Zero Tolerance with Robert Patrick is worth the watch for anyone who likes an action film. Hey, I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah, but again, I'm a sucker for action, and if you give me the adrenaline pumping, hyperbolic that's not a word, but I made it up, of an action movie, I can forgive the story. It's just how I am. I'm usually not, but since action is my favorite genre, I can forgive a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like the 2005 Doom. It's not the ultimate Doom, but I still like it. If someone sends a paid request for it, I'll do it. I'll go for it. Hey, Yule, just to let you know, I did get your paid request and I have seen the film, and I'm going to try to have it uploaded hopefully tomorrow night. So I just want to say thank you for the paid request, man. Yule, again, I'm going to try to have that up tomorrow night at some point. So thank you. Um, I think I did have one up, but I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, I remember not minding Winnie the Pooh growing up, but again, it went into public domain because after 95 years in the first publication becomes public domain, and then someone said, "I want to make a horror film." It got people talking, so that's the only reason he did it. So yeah, maybe there's a lot of 4K cases and not just Stream Factory, but Stream Factory they have a lot of bad stuff they've done. So um, I would like to, but I'm tight with money, so I like to wait on stuff. There's a lot of stuff I want to pick up. Um, so maybe one day, maybe one day. Thank you for that. Thank you. I didn't care for Samaritan, but the fact you say doesn't top Cobra, thank you. I love Cobra. If people don't like the guys, again, I'm not trying not the guy. We all have different opinions. That's why I like getting into conversations. I think people take that the wrong way. But I mean, but then if I don't say anything, oh, you're a dickhead. You don't talk to anybody. Because when I do, you think I'm taking it too seriously and I'm trying to have a conversation. But then if I don't say anything, so then I'm like, okay, sometimes I just don't say anything because then I don't get people mad. But if I do say something, I get people mad. I have this tendency to get under people's skin, whether it's directors, writers, producers. It's something to, must be my face or my voice or my crooked teeth. Must be one of those three things. Um, I I don't care for that movie. Um, oh, very cool. I disagree because I don't remember a single human in that movie, but teach their own. I liked the first one. The second one I didn't mind. Didn't see the glass shield. Uh 35, 40 minutes. So there you go. It's like, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. I thought it was okay. I just thought it was kind of a remake of the first film, but it does have very well done flight sequences. I'll say that's definitely the best part of the movie. The story I thought was just a regurgitation of the first movie, but with a romance that's not as good and a soundtrack that's not as good. So I still prefer the first Top Gun, but I didn't hate Top Gun Maverick. I think I gave like 3 out of 5 stars. No, I will not get the 4K of Army of Darkness. I don't want anything from Screaming Factory. That's why I didn't get Child's Play 2 and 3, even though I like those movies. First R-rated. I can't remember the first R-rated one I saw. I can't remember. Maybe that film. Well, probably not that film, but that's one of my earliest memories is Aliens. Oh, thank you. No, no one sent in a paid request for a playthrough, and time-wise, I just don't have the time to do another playthrough right now, especially when the new month is coming up. So there's going to be a lot of requests coming in at the start of the month. So, I mean, there is a game I want to play again, which is a pretty fun game. You use a riot shield, and it's a first-person assault rifle. You battle gangs in a city overrun, and you use a riot shield to block. This is a fun, underrated game. I would like to play this again as well. Someday I would like to play this game because I remember this actually being a fun one. And I only saw the first season of 24, but it's got Kiefer Sutherland, which I like. I would like to, but if I have the time. Teach their own. I don't agree with that, but teach their own. As in, I don't like the Evil Dead remake. Apparently, after 95 years, at least that's what happened with. I've been told with the. Yes, Wes Craven did direct that, and The Hills of Ice, Nightmare on Elm Street, Shocker, Deadly Friend, Scream. I can't get into that one. When you have a person who's been put into the water and shot, and then the next scene is a cop's fallen in a chicken truck to the music. I'm like, this went from Texas Chainsaw to Three Stooges. Imagine if the Three Stooges starred in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened, but then there was a side plot of the Three Stooges trying to build, I don't know, Leatherface's shack or barn. So it cuts back to them goofing off trying to build the barn and screwing up while Leatherface is doing his thing in Texas Chainsaw. That'd be a very different Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Cool. Hope you're doing okay. Flashpoint is good. Have not seen the new Beavis and Butthead. I like Action Jackson. I wish Carl Weathers got more roles afterward, but he didn't really get a lot of roles he got to be the star of. Not always. Again, it depends on a lot of attributes as well. And I don't think the story in Universal Soldier the Return was horrible. See, I don't think it was as bad as people make it out to be. I'm just saying it wasn't a 5-star story. But I don't think it was as bad as people make it out to be because I'm a fan of that type of B movie plot and it's fun. So I don't think it was horrible, but I mean, it just depends if I like the actors, if I like the lead character. It depends on a lot of variables. If it has a really good music, soundtrack, his audio is a very underrated portion of a movie. I love both of them. I like them more than any of the Saw films. To me, those are the good versions of the Saw movies because I like Josh Stewart. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad the third film got canceled. I know that's horrible because they lost their jobs, but I don't want to see a third film. The second film ended it perfectly. And what it would do is it would make Josh Stewart's character look like a dumbass because he caught the killer and put him in a box. So on the third film, the killer would get let loose and kill people. Well, it just made Josh Stewart's character stupid because like, why didn't you kill the guy? You locked him up and you had him trapped and you somehow got him let go because you're stupid ass. What the fuck? So I don't want a third movie. The way the collection ended was perfect. So I like both of them. Hey, old Trilly Jaws, I have not seen any of the new Beavis and Butthead. I just haven't had time. So I've not seen them. But I hope you're doing well. I liked all three Bad Boys movies. Paul Newman films. It depends. Like I'm not into like Bush Cassidy, Sundance Kid, and some of the stuff. A lot of his movies I'm kind of indifferent on. I like him as an actor. Probably my favorite movie of his is The Towering Inferno. I would say that's my favorite movie of his, is The Towering Inferno. Yeah, I remember the original Hills of Eyes, and Michael Berryman was the only worthwhile thing in that, in my opinion. Stealth, not that good of a movie, but it had some fun action. I don't care for the characters in that movie, though. Yeah, I know about that, but I don't follow a lot of that stuff. But I didn't know about that. I haven't seen enough of it. The few bits I've seen, I'm like, okay, I guess I didn't find it as funny as other people did, but I haven't seen enough of it to make a fair opinion. I've only seen like two or three of them. Yeah, and then from what I understand, Brigitte Nielsen was cheating on Stallone, and then went bye bye. And then Stallone, that's why he went hardcore, Make You Ramble 3, because he wanted to forget about Brigitte Nielsen. Or I don't know if Brigitte Nielsen cheated on him. I know she left him. Maybe she cheated on him. I can't remember now. Can't remember the details. Yep, I do know that. Which I loved Mandy with Nicolas Cage. Know what I mean by that? I use it for bills and food, and that's the primary portions. Cobra, actually, I have a poster right. Yeah, I love Cobra, and again, not to go back to that one guy, but he's like, "Oh, Samaritan is good, Matt." And Cobra was boring, though. I think Samaritan's way better than Cobra. I didn't teach their We have all different opinions and different tastes. I think Samaritan sucked ass. It was mediocre, generic, and boring. I think Cobra rocked. Yeah, maybe that is. Maybe it's the hat that makes people angry. That might be the case. Or it's just I don't have a face. Yeah, I really do make a lot of people mad. I really do. I am the trigger. That should be my catchphrase. I am the trigger. I don't know how I'm the trigger. I appreciate that. Thank you. We don't all always have to agree. I like Halloween 3 as well. There is no IMAX theaters around here. Oh, cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. I appreciate that, Louise. The one with vanilla ice. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, I love Jaws. I actually like Jaws 3. Oh, Ninja Turtles 2. Yeah, I like that film, although I hate Vanilla Ice. I hate Vanilla Ice. Not a fan of him. Ah, okay, that's cool. Thank you. I love Ninja Turtles 2 series, but I hate Vanilla Ice. He's the worst part of that movie. I don't have that game on PS2, but thanks for the recommendation. Could not get into that movie. When he got to the sex doll sex scene, I'm like, this isn't for me. Three through Chainsaw Master video game. Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know anything about Place Downhill 2. If I get the time or if I get a paid request. Beverly Hills Cop 4, not needed. It's too late. Who cares about Beverly Hills Cop 4? Because I didn't care about Rambo 5, and I love Rambo films, but we didn't need a Rambo 5. We didn't need a Die Hard 5. We don't need an Indiana Jones 5, and we don't need a Beverly Hills Cop 4. I did review Freaky. It's on the channel, and I liked it. I don't think I've seen that episode. Yeah, I love the Three Stooges. I grew up with them. I actually have the DVDs right up there. Right up there. The DVD set. No Blu-ray for some reason of Three Stooges. I don't know why, but there's no Blu-ray of them, but I wish there was. Take Care, Louise. Yeah, they did that, and then the Three Stooges when they went into space and a few other stuff. Don Callis. I don't know who that is. Yeah, you don't need a third collector film. Sometimes you don't need any more. I don't know why that's such a. I don't know why that's such a weird thing nowadays. Yeah, I like Michael Berryman. It's cool that he got work. Again, he was the best part of that movie. I don't care for the movie, but he was good in it. I don't like the Creed films, but teach their own. Yeah, I didn't care for Samaritan. Personal taste is with every single review ever made in the history of movie reviews. And people say it doesn't, you're wrong. It's always about personal taste because you can only view your own opinion. And that's always going to be based on taste. If you're really more in Siskel and Ebert are big reviewers, they were not fans of slasher films. That's why, other than Halloween, name other slasher films they gave a pass to. Exactly. Because that wasn't their taste. And they were reviews. I mean, like actual reviewers. Well, if they're like Captain Marvel, then I would say no, but I wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel. I'm more into G.I. Jane, aliens, like that type of stuff. But superheroes in general, I mean, I didn't like Doctor Strange 2 and Thor 4, so there you go. So it's not just a woman thing, people. Yeah, I love Silent Hill too. I like Jaws 3 and I don't like Jaws 4. Sadly, I used to have the X Files PS2 game, but I don't have it anymore. I wish I did, because I would like to play that again. But yeah, I don't have that anymore. I did. I actually reviewed Cool as Ice. I was not a fan because I think Vanilla Ice turned out act, and that's a very poorly made film. But I reviewed that on my channel. Hello, Dante. John Carpenter's worst film for me is The Ward. There's not many John Carpenter films I hate, but The Ward I do not like. Yep. Um, I forgot who. Some person who directed it has never directed a movie before. They directed like Apple commercials or something. Because that's what makes you qualified, I guess. Um, I think I have that for Xbox 360, but I don't know. Oh, thank you, Hopium. I didn't see that. Sorry. Thanks for the $2 super chat. I didn't see the trailer. I don't care about Winnie the Pooh horror film. I don't think it's a. It's only there to get people's attention, and that's what they'll hopefully will elicit people watching it, and enough that they get a profit. I don't think they care about making a good film. They just go, Winnie the Pooh horror film? I'm curious. That sounds fucked up. I guarantee you that was the thought process behind it. I mean, if they did a Scooby Doo movie and it was a horror film, I think there'd be people who watch it. Pumpkinhead 2 is in the middle. Because people hate the Golden Child, except me, because it's my favorite comedy. It's funny you mentioned the Golden Child, because I have the Blu-ray there, and it's actually my number one favorite comedy. So that's kind of interesting. The Blu-ray's right there, and that's literally my all-time favorite comedy. And people hate the movie. I don't know why, but the film did not do well. Eddie Murphy hates the movie. I mean, he's admitted that he hates the movie, and he thinks the movie sucks, and he thinks the script wasn't there, and the effects weren't there. He didn't like the story. I disagree, but I absolutely laughed my ass off. I want the knife. Yeah, I'm gonna paddle his ass when I find him. Go paddle your ass when I find you. Okay, I'm gonna roll your ass till it bleeds. This looks like a big joint. You lick it and smoke it. I think you had two of these and you smoked one before you got here. And you stopped licking scrolls. My sweet brother Numsy. I can watch The Golden Child any day and twice on Tuesday. Love literally my favorite comedy of all time. Yeah, I love The Golden Child. Yeah, that sounds familiar that you say that. Body Bags, I believe I reviewed on the channel. I really only liked the first gas station segment. The others, not so much. John Carver wasn't bad as a host, like Crypt Keeper type of host, but I'm kind of in the middle. After Cyborg, Nemesis or Doll Man, one or those two. Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm very cynical when it comes to sequels when that many years have gone by. Because I know Eddie Murphy was done about Bear Hills top three, and look how that ended. I didn't watch the show Speed Racer. I've only seen the movie. I was not a fan of Thor 4. I thought it was, yeah, very poorly with comedy. Well, thank you, Bob Zombie. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. Peace out, man. I much prefer the score in the movie. Much prefer that score. I like the score we have now. Hey, Liam. Hope you're doing well. Hello there, Liam. Well, I prefer the movie we got. I don't know. Tank Girl? Sure, I'll go with Tank Girl. I don't know. Sure, why not Tank Girl? Definitely Bobby Heenan. Well, yeah, I mean, he just cares if they watch it, then he won already. I don't know why you need another Evil Dead movie to begin with. Doing all right. Actually, I've been going on for about 2 hours, so it's 1 a.m. here, so I'll probably end it in a little bit. So, oh, thank you, Hopium. I haven't seen much Masters of Horror episodes. I've only seen the Joe Dante stream, the clown one with William Forsythe. Uh, saw that one. Um, the John Carpenter ones I wasn't really big on. Imprint I did not like at all. I guess the Joe Dante one I didn't mind. So Meteor Man. I'd rather watch Blank Man than Meteor Man. I don't know who Cameron Morales is. Hey, you know what? Go for it if you want, if that's what you want. I don't know, both. The Rock's movies are being successful, so it'll probably be Vin Diesel first. I did like Kill Bill and Volume 2 as well. I liked both Kill Bill films. Yes, From Dusk Till Dawn and the original Fright Night are, and yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn, the original Fright Night Part 2, The Lost Boys. Um, yeah, those are vampire films I really enjoy. But yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn and the original Fright Night are my two favorites. I have. Uh, those are pretty good level of fiction. That guy can't tell a straight story to save his life. And what I mean straight is that straight and narrow focused, because he always making stuff up. Oh, I was paid to kill Steven Seagal. Yeah, okay. Oh, I could dodge bullets, but I used my chi to get rid of my tumor. And now I don't have the chi anymore, so I can't dodge bullets anymore. But I could before. I don't know who's full of more BS, him or Steven Seagal. Fuck. Choking on my Meliolo. By the way, shout out to guys at Dead Pit for the shirt. The guys at Dead Pit got made this shirt for me. It was a nice present. So thank you for that. It's a bit like the old Mellow Yellow logo. So that was very kind of them. No, I did not like it. When it got to Wonder Woman, what was it? I can't remember. Chris Pine overtaking the guy and using the guy's body to have sex with Wonder Woman. I thought that was a bit strange. Maybe that's just me. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, a lot of lies with that. Who said that? Why would I lie about that? Like, let me ask you a question. What do I get from lying about that? I like the Batman more than the Dark Knight, yes. I like the way it's directed more. I like Robert Pattinson a lot more because he doesn't have the Christian Bale has. I like the detective angle of the story. What do I get from lying about it? Did they answer that question? What I get from lying about it? What accolades? What payment? What do I get from lying about that? I would love to know. Because if I said, "Yo, the Dark Knight's better than," I would get just praise and pass. So why would I make it harder for myself? You tell that to these folks and to those folks, and they'll look at you as if you had a third head. Forget having a second head, let alone a third head. But yeah, I'd love to know what I would get out of lying about that. I didn't know they were making a Red Sonja movie. Like, what would I get about lying? What would that accomplish? Yeah, because I don't know. I guess I'm just not as good as them. What can I say? I can admit that. They're popular. They got millions of subs. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong. So just how it is. I can admit that. And oh well. A man's got to know his limitations. That's cool. Not gonna get mad at people for that. I didn't know Batman had wore socks, but I guess maybe I lied about that. I didn't know it. Maybe it was in a dream. And when you wake up, you better apologize. Yeah, apparently, because the dark, people gotta stop being fanboys on stuff, man. God. Yeah, I've said that all the time because it's easier to do that. Because when you lie, you have to think about your brain literally has to think of a lie. I'm like, and guess what? It's whatever, man. Yeah, I made it up to make it harder for myself. That doesn't accomplish anything. So, do I want? Either A, I lie and make it harder for myself, and people get mad at me. But then these are the same people I hate all new movies. But then I name like 10 movies this year I like, but yet I hate all new movies. That's those same people that they say that all the time. I like that. I like the detective aspect. I mean, hell, I could say The Dark Knight. Bits there was Heat, Michael Mann's Heat. It was trying to be, especially that bank robbery at the beginning, like trying to be Michael Mann's Heat. Hell, Captain Marvel pretty much copied The Long Kiss Goodnight, and The Long Kiss Goodnight was better. A woman who has something special, who gets amnesia, meets with Sam Jackson, and both take place in the 90s. And her and Sam Jackson go on a journey. Like Long Kiss Goodnight, but I like Long Kiss Goodnight more than Captain Marvel because Gina Davis. I'm a big Gina Davis fan. She's a lot better than what was her name? Brie Larson. Sorry, I'm not a fan of Brie Larson. Not a fan of Amber Heard. Not a fan. Um, I mean, I don't know about that, but I like the Crow more. But I'm sure I must be lying about that. You can't like the Crow more than the Dark Knight. Yes, I can because I just said it. I just said it. um, cool. I mean, I still like the movie. At the time, it was there. I mean, if someone's going to get paid, okay. But at the time, it never came out. I'm glad they used the story for something. I agree. Yeah, there you go. I agree. I like Heat a lot more than the Dark Knight. Oh yeah, the Joker sequel. That's right. I liked Stars Born. I reviewed A Star Is Born. I like that, but people see that's another thing. People don't watch when I review stuff positively and like something. They only watch if I hate something. So then people go, "You hate everything." I'm like, "But dude, you just watched the videos where I hated it. You bypass all the reviews that I like the movie, and you can tell by the views. Like if I rant on something, more people watch it. If I like something, oh, he liked it. Uh, we don't avoid that so we can continue to say he hates everything. Okay, well, this and this and this and this movie I liked. Well, yeah, if you skip all the positive reviews, then yeah, you think I hate everything because you skipped all the positive reviews I had. I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I could not stand the Cutthroat Island though. I much prefer in Long History Night with Rennie Harlan, who's the same director of Cutthroat Island. I mean, I much prefer in Beetlejuice, The Fly remake. But anyway, I'm gonna head out. It's been 2 hours. It's about 1:30 in the morning. I'm a night owl, so I still need to get some stuff done and go to bed. Uh, thank you guys. It's weird. This stream kind of went in a lot of different directions, but that's the fun of it. I've tried to do streams with just one topic, but it never really goes well. So these random streams seem a bit more fun. But it is what it is. Um, thank you to everyone out there. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, what can you do about it? Thank you, Wonder Waz. Or is it Waz? Can never know how to pronounce it. Thank you very much for the kind words. Hope you have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a random hyperbolic stream, but thanks for stopping by. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you two I haven't seen on here, so thanks for stopping by. La Crypta Video Club and Queen Glamazona. I probably messed that up. Sorry about that. Eric, Liam, take care. Um, yeah, those are my pronouns. I know. Thank you, Daniel. You're a nice strident. Yep, peace out. Tyler, take care. Thank you, Business of Fear. I haven't seen The Great Gatsby. As Waz. Okay, as an as. Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Take care, Austin, Joe. Waz. Gotcha. Waz. Um, I agree. I enjoy that film. Love Broken Arrow. Two great choices. But I was actually about ready to head out, but that reminds me, I want to watch Broken Arrow again sometime. Love Broken Arrow. But yeah, thank you all for joining. I've been doing this for 2 hours. It's about, like I said, 1:30 in the morning. Take care, guys. We will see you later. And next video stream, I don't know when that'll be, but take care. Bye bye now.